Hi, I'm Laura. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. I am here with a video in the 31 Days of Witchcraft series hosted by Heather Carter, and there's information in the description box for this video where you can learn more about that. And so today I want to discuss the prompt that we've been provided for day 24 of the 31 days, and that prompt is, are you out of the broom closet? If so, how has that experience been for you? So, as I understand it, the idea of the broom closet and being in or out of the broom closet has to do with whether you make public or share the fact that you have a magical practice or a witchcraft practice. And then of course the second part of the question, how is that for you if you are, public and open about that? And of course, the idea of the broom closet is taken directly from the idea of the closet or closetedness with respect to gender identity and sexuality. So the idea there, of course, being, one is either in the closet or out of the closet in terms of whether one is public about one's non-normative sexual or gender identity, right? And I think that this phrase of the closet and out of the closet and in the closet is a troublesome one in both respects, both in terms of sexuality and in terms of magic practice for me. And for me, actually, the reason that this kind of question is troublesome and the concept of the closet is troublesome, the reasons are actually quite similar with respect to both sexuality and magical practice. So I thought that I would kind of talk about them together, and hopefully this, makes some sense as to why I think it's a tricky way of thinking about things. So to start off with kind of how I think that this is understood, generally speaking, the idea of a closet, whether it's a sexuality closet or a broom closet, gives us this imagery in which one is either hidden, right, in a closet with the door closed, other people can't see you, or wherein one is out, the closet is maybe shut behind you and you're standing in the room and people can see you, right? So then we, think about coming out as that act of stepping out of the space of having something private and kind of telling the world, right, and making it public. And because of, the way that a closet, and here I mean closet like the thing you keep your coats in your house, because of the way a closet is structured, right, you're either in or you're out. Maybe you could be in, but with the door open, or in with like one toe out. But, when we try to actually visualize this, in terms of a door opening, we're in or out, right? And this, for me, is the heart of why there's a problem with this language. With respect to, for me, queerness and magical practice. So I think, in my experience anyway, that coming out of the closet, whether it is the sexuality closet or the broom closet, can't be a thing that you do just once, right? We are always meeting new people, making new friends, starting new jobs, moving to new cities, So inevitably, insofar as one wants to be public or be out or be open or whatever language we want to use for that, there is a necessary repetition, right? Because we don't just, again, whether with respect to sexuality or with respect to, the broom closet, we don't, come out and then start walking around with a Post-it on our head and then, where everybody knows, right? No, we're always meeting new people and having to negotiate, that decision or that process, in different ways, in different aspects of our lives. Beyond that, I think that for many of us, that whether we are in or out of the sexuality, or the broom closet is also not a thing that is necessarily all or nothing or consistent, right? So you think about, for example, maybe being out in either respect, again, sexuality or magic, whichever you prefer to think in terms of. You think of like being out to one's friends, but not one's grandma, or out to one's friends, but not at work, right? This is the case for a lot of people. And, it makes the metaphor messy, right? Because it means being in and out at the same time, right? Which I think the language of inness and outness doesn't necessarily allow for in the ways that I would want it to. A further problem for me, and again, this is with respect to both closets here, is that I think that the language of the closet runs the risk of shoring up the assumption that one's sexuality and or one's magical, witchy, spiritual practice are core things about oneself that never change over time, right? That, say your sexuality, it is what it is. It always is what it is. It always has been what it is. It always will be. And you're either, letting other people know about it, or you're concealing it in some way, or maybe just not remarking upon it, right? Concealing it by omission, whatever it might be. And you at some point decide perhaps to come out about it. This seems to suggest, though, that being not out, that there's something kind of dishonest about it, right? That you're keeping some kind of secret, which can be quite a problematic assumption, right? It suggests that not being out is somehow not preferable, even though, and again, this is with respect to witchcraft or magic or with respect to sexuality, being not out might be safer. It may be the only safe option, in fact, right? And it also may be that your identity, vis-a-vis your sexuality or with respect to your practice, is something that is kind of in flux, that is hard to label, So in that way, slapping a label on it and expecting it to adhere, in a good way for the rest of your life is really difficult, I think. And maybe there are parts of you, whether again your sexuality or your magical practice, that you just don't feel the need to share in all realms of your life, right? And that's okay too. And it doesn't mean that you're lying or being secretive and sneaky, right? So I don't think that this closet kind of analogy really captures the way that I think about either of these things, I guess. And this is not me critiquing the question or like suggesting the question is worded in a bad way or anything like that. This is language that's really common, right? This is the language, closet language is the language that we have to talk about our experiences that is mutually recognizable, right? We refer to the broom closet and know what each other means, right? So it's useful language to frame a conversation like this. But all this is to say that very, very useful language can also be really, really limiting and can also be hiding some unacknowledged assumptions that we may or may not want to be assuming about people, right? So I think that those are all things that I think about when I think about this question. And that's 9 minutes of me not answering the question. Were I to answer the question of am I out of the broom closet then, the question has to be yes and no. Obviously, I'm here participating in 31 Days of Witchcraft with my face visible on YouTube for anyone who happens to come across it to see. I introduced myself with my real name. Laura's my real name. So that suggests in itself a certain degree of out of the broom closet, right? Some folks in my life, like friends, partner, etc., are fully aware that this channel exists. Occasionally they comment. These are topics that I talk about, and yes, am kind of, out, for lack of better language in the context of this question, about the fact that I have a magical practice, or that I have a pantheist, spiritual, or religious life, that I practice ritual, that I read tarot, all of these things. These are things that people in my life are or at least some people in my life are very well aware of. In other areas of my life, it's a thing that just doesn't come up, right? In my main job, for example, my place of employment, it is not a thing that comes up. It's not a thing that is really remotely related to the work that I do. And I think that there are very good reasons that, say a boss would not be asking about things like my religious life, because religious discrimination in the workplace, is the problem that it is. And it's not, always a thing to be asking your employees about, right? So it's a thing that just doesn't come up. Were it to come up, would I have that conversation? Sure. But I also don't really anticipate it coming up. That doesn't mean that I feel magically / religiously closeted in my workplace, though. It just means it hasn't come up. And it probably won't come up. And that's fine. If it comes up, I'll navigate that as it comes up. That's my answer, I guess, to whether or not I am out of the so-called broom closet. It's a long-winded 12-minute version of yes and no. And that experience for me inevitably has been mixed. Have I sometimes been met with kind of, we'll say, like, assumptions that are informed by stereotypes? Sure. Have I been met with skepticism? Sure. Have I been judged negatively at times? Dismissively, I would say, more so, dismissively by the atheists who think they know everything in particular. Have I ever had a experience that was negative in the sense of like a job loss or a home loss or a committed friendship ending over it? No, not at all. My experience has by and large been just fine, actually. So, yeah. Out of the broom closet, yes and no. How's that experience been? Inconsistent, but mostly fine. Yeah. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for the next prompt in the 31 Days of Witchcraft. I'm keen to hear how other folks tackle this question and what they have to say about their experiences, as always. If you'd like to comment or share your thoughts about the broom closet or anything I've discussed in this video, please feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.